Hello, I'm Renee Craig, and I'm an instructor through the OUCARES Teen Social Club. Although I certainly wish we could be meeting in person at this point, I'm so thankful that we have the technology to be able to connect in this way. So today I'm going to be speaking with you about SMART goals. Some of you may already be familiar with this process. Some of you, this may be something a little bit new. So if this is something that you already have a SMART goal, this is a great time for us to rethink and perhaps make some adjustments to your current goal and to be able to view this as a time of growth. So first I wanted to talk with you about the idea of growth mindset. So with the idea of growth mindset, there are two ways of thinking. There is a fixed mindset and growth mindset. The idea behind fixed mindset is that's kind of the belief that our abilities or our skills are fixed and that challenges or adversity that we might face are out of our control. That can often lead to discouragement. Growth mindset, on the other hand, views a challenge or adversity as an opportunity for growth and to learn new skills and strengthen those skills and come out of that adversity or that challenge stronger than before. So with that, I want to think about this time. Well, of course, it's difficult with the social distancing and a lot of change has happened perhaps in your life. You may not be doing some of the things that you really enjoyed doing or getting out and connecting with people in the ways that you may have really enjoyed before or may have needed in some way. But to use this time as a period of growth to work on a goal that you might have for yourself. If you don't have a goal at this point, now is a great time to begin thinking about what you want your life to look like in a few months, in a few years. What are some steps that you can be taking now to help you move toward those goals? This is certainly an interesting time to be working on some of our goals, especially if you have goals that are in the area of perhaps developing social skills. That might look a little different right now. But there are some really cool ways to grow during this time. Perhaps you may have a goal of learning to use or developing more comfort with using video conferencing or video calls to connect with others. That's a great way to connect and practice social skills with others during this time. FaceTime or Zoom or other platforms that you may use could be a beneficial way of carrying on with some of the goals that you previously had in the area of social skills. You may have a goal of connecting on a regular basis, perhaps through some of those ways with friends or family members or perhaps a counselor. Other areas that you could think about maybe growing or developing at this point could be maybe there's something new that you want to learn about. There are a lot of interesting kind of platforms that you can go and explore during this time that are offering some free ways to learn about some pretty interesting topics. I know Coursera and is one program that is offering some free online courses at this point. So could be some interesting ways to gain new information. Or perhaps look at how you could maybe learn more about a job skill or an area that you're interested in learning more about. Another area that you could focus on would be thinking about what your goals are after high school. So if you're thinking that you want to transition into work, maybe exploring what kind of work you'd want to be doing. One resource I really like is ONET Online. It's ONET online.org. And they have some really great resources to be able to go and take an assessment to learn more about your skills and your strengths. They also have an area where you can go and explore different career pathways and learn about some different areas that may come close to or may align with some of the areas that you might be interested in. So if you were really interested in something in healthcare, or you were interested in perhaps working in an office setting, or if you wanted to work with children, you could explore a number of different career paths that would cover a lot of those areas. Within that search as well, it will highlight areas, it'll have a little sun icon that will highlight areas or different career pathways that are experiencing higher than average growth. So to just think ahead about, what your career goals are, what you'd like to do for work down the road. Perhaps you would like to think about taking some college classes, or perhaps going into a vocational training program. Now is a great time to learn about what that looks like and what are some skills that you might need to take that next step. Those are some great areas that you can explore when thinking about setting a SMART goal. You could also have some simple goals of just reading a new book, or developing some different skill sets that you may want to expand upon at this point. If you have a current SMART goal, as I mentioned, it's a pretty different time right now. So pull those SMART goals out, take a look at them and see, is that really attainable right now, or do I need to rethink how I can work toward meeting that goal at this point? So I have talked a lot about the idea of SMART goals. Now I'm going to go over what exactly a SMART goal is. And I'm going to include a couple of resources for you. Some of you might already have these resources. Some of you, these may be new, but always good to at least have a refresher. So this is the form I'm going to be going to be passing on for you to be using during this time. And it goes over what the SMART goal process is, what that actually looks like as far as setting goals. And one mistake we often make when we go and set a goal is we aren't specific, or we don't really have any way of measuring how we're going to track that goal. It might just be a vague kind of out there idea of, I really want to get better at completing my homework, or I want to gain skills in this area, or I want to perhaps be able to make some new friends in some different settings, or be able to enter into conversation and have some strategies for entering into new conversations. But the SMART goal process really speaks to how to strategically approach the process of goal setting. So the S for SMART goals is specific. And that really speaks to, what will you do? How much or how frequently? Where? How? What are the action words? How will you specifically work toward this goal? M is measurable. How will you evaluate your goal? What kind of data will you use? Will you maybe be able to check a box to say whether or not you made a connection or called and reached out to someone that day? Keep your tracking simple. You want it to be something that is easy to follow. You want it to be something that is not a discouraging process for you to go through. A is for attainable. And that means, is this something within your scope? Is it possible for you to achieve or accomplish? We want to be realistic with our goals. Not to say that some big idea of a goal might not be attainable, but we might want to think about those smaller steps first and set those smaller goals first that can help us build towards some of those big overarching goals that we have. R is for relevant. Is this relevant for what you are trying to achieve? Will this goal help you in your day-to-day life or life goals? And then time-bound. T is time-bound. When do you expect to get this done? Perhaps you want to set a goal for yourself for by the end of this quarantine time. Perhaps you want to set it for something that'll carry you through the summer and prepare you for getting back to face-to-face classes, perhaps in the fall. Be specific with the time frame. So within your goal, you'll want to say, by the end of the summer, I hope to build 2 new connections, or I hope to join I'm going to join a new club based on my special interest that I have to be able to build more relationships. With the SMART goal process, an important piece of this is accountability planning. We all know that it can be challenging when we set a goal for ourselves and we feel kind of alone on that, or it can be easy to set a goal for ourselves and then let our routine slide a little bit. And having somebody to help keep you accountable is an important part of the goal setting process. So whether it is a parent or perhaps a sibling or close friend, or maybe a counselor that you're doing some virtual work with now, you want to make sure that they are a part of this goal and are helping you to track this. So I hope this is helpful to you. I will pass on these resources, and I look forward to hearing how your SMART goals are going.